Okay, this is the epilogue to Zodiac. Epilogue. Many of the people involved in the Zodiac case are gone now. Sergeant Les Lundbald and Coroner Dan Horan are deceased, as well as the mother of Stella Borge, who discovered the Lake Herman Road victims, and Darlene Farron's mother. Former San Francisco Police Chief Charles Gain now runs a profitable mobile home court in Lemoore in Kings County and says he is deliriously happy. Clement D. Amacus, Gaines' former deputy for administration, was sacked when the new chief, Cornelius P. Murphy II, replaced all of Gaines' deputies in January of 1980. Demacus filed for retirement and is now working for a Fidelity Savings and Loan in a security capacity. In July of 1979, John Shimoda ended his 5-year relationship with SFPD and refused to do any more documents work for them. I suspected this was because of the pressure put on him during the April 1978 Zodiac letter investigation. One policeman told me, "There are many angry cops around here because now we have to go to CI&I in Sacramento on an emergency case that's a long ride. The department will now be forced to train one of its own men." Maupin's informant retired in the late 1978 to the East Bay. Eric Zelms, the junior patrolman in the radio car that stopped Zodiac in Presidio Heights after Stein was shot, was killed in the line of duty on a New Year's Eve shortly afterward. His senior partner has been promoted and is still with SFPD. Inspector Bill Armstrong learned of an opening in the Bunko Division in late winter of 1976. I've looked at my last homicide, he told Takashi. He retired at age 50, October 1978. It was a bad back that forced Edward Russ to quit VPD. He and Sergeant Lynch have both retired in Vallejo. Lieutenant Jim Husted, the obsessed and driven Vallejo investigator, lost his intelligence division and has been hurt by a string of work-related incidents. He has been divorced and spends much of his time at his ranch and developing his private business. Paul Avery, the Chronicle reporter who broke the Riverside connection, is now a prize-winning reporter for the Sacramento Bee. As far as the surviving Zodiac victims are concerned, Mike Magoo is living in Southern California under a new name. Brian Hartnell, completely recovered, is a successful lawyer in Southern California. He sees Cecilia Shepard's family often. Terry's restaurant has been closed. Blue Rock Springs is no longer isolated. New roads and housing developments have sprung up there, as well as Marine World / Africa USA. As Janet, Darlene's babysitter, on July 4th, 1969, recalls, "Only about a week ago, it was on the news about the Zodiac again, and I started thinking, don't have him turn up again. I babysat for the woman who got killed by the Zodiac, and it is part of you, and every time you hear his name, you just kind of think, oh no." As for Dean Farron, Carmela Leahy's comments, "He was a good husband. He's remarried, and he and his wife have a couple of children, but it will always be with him." After 5 successful years in robbery detail, Dave Takashi transferred in May of 1984 to the sex crimes detail. Then, on July 3rd, 1985, after 32 years on the force, he retired to become head of security at the Watergate apartment complex in Emerville. "Zodiac was the most frustrating of all my cases. I really believe it gave me bleeding ulcers," he said. Although several people claim to have heard it, the tape of Zodiac speaking to the Vallejo Police Department has never been found.